All right. I believe we are live. Okay, what's up, everybody? Jack Fott here on behalf of Box to Box Football. We are going to be joined by James, but just a little bit later. He's got a couple of things that he I think needs to do. So what's up? I'm going to kind of just slowly wait for people to get in chat here real quick. But we're going to do some kind of pre-Premier League chat and obviously some transfer window chat here too, because obviously because there's a lot going on, and I think the news today, obviously the big news I think that we've got going on right now is obviously the big 150 million euro bid from Harry Kane is going to be the main point of discussion right now. So. Like I say, we'll wait for everybody to jump in, but we'll kind of move from there. So what I kind of initially wanted to talk about, because obviously we're going to wait for James to load up here in a second, is top goal scorer. Because I think realistically, I think that we kind of know who the kind of candidates are going to be, but I'm not strictly sure if we know who the actual name's going to be. It's not as obvious as it has been in years past. What's up, Nikola Stefanovic? Hey, mate, Super Cup bond. Yeah, no. Good result. Chelsea should have won. Let's be honest. They probably shouldn't have taken it all the way to penalties. But again, glorified friendly. Some minutes on the board for some of your players who won't get many minutes. So I'm kind of okay with that. Let's have a look here. But yeah, top goal scorer. It's an interesting one. I'd be interested to hear from you guys, like who you think top goal scorer might be in the Premier League this year. I mean, some people are saying Lukaku's just going to come straight in and win top goal scorer. Some people saying, it'll be Kane again. Some people saying it'll be Salah. I look at some negatives for each of those names. I wonder if it's going to be something a little off the radar this year. I wonder if it will be a Kelechi Iheanacho, a Calvert-Lewin, an Edison Cavani, somebody like that, maybe top goal scorer this year. I'm not entirely sure. Realistically, I've got to say that chances are it's probably going to be Harry Kane or, Lukaku or Salah. Like, we'll probably keep it standard. But, is Bruno Fernandes going to score like 30 penalties this year? Like, I'm not going to rule it out, let's be honest. Nikola Stefanovic, for me, Super Cup is a major trophy because Bayern had a 6-tuple last year. Look, it's one of these weird trophies, and I kind of classify it more similar to the Community Shield, where actually to win something like Community Shield is really difficult because to a certain extent, the qualifier to win a Community Shield is you have to either win the FA Cup or you have to win the league. Now, both of those things are very difficult to do. So the UEFA Super Cup, I kind of look at that as, winning the Champions League or winning the Europa League is very difficult to do. We're not going to try and sit here and pretend that that's not something very difficult to do. So to then win, say, the Europa League and then beat the team who won the Champions League, that's not easy. To win the Champions League and beat the team who won the Europa League, it's not easy. But again, I think that generally speaking, so much time is between when you initially do what is necessary to qualify and then to win the thing itself on the one game week. So for me, yeah, another glorified friendly. I understand you may want to count it, but it's in the same way that realistically, the only really main ones that I count are Champions League, Europa League, your domestic cup, and then the FA Cup or whatever the equivalent would be in the other leagues, because I think we all know the Carabao Cup's a little bit of a joke if we're being honest. Anybody in chat, did we see my table predictions? Any comments? Who do you think is going to win the league? I've got Manchester United. Now, obviously, I reserve the right to change that. Obviously, after the transfer window finishes, I'll always do an updated league table, just to make sure that we kind of know where we're at. Once all the major transfers go through, I referenced in the past that a Virgil van Dijk could come in for a team or a Bruno Fernandes could come in for a team, right? And it could change absolutely everything. And I think that, Harry Kane going to Man City is same kind of kettle of fish there. That's a huge, huge deal. Like, let's not pretend that it's anything otherwise. And certainly in terms of my picks, that's going to change absolutely everything because Man City are going to be the team to beat. Also, I'd love to know chat's reaction to the Messi deal. And also the rumors that have come up recently, I'll actually put it as a comment here if I can. The idea being that Kylian Mbappe is going to be let go for free, right? And then when Mbappe is let go for free, Cristiano Ronaldo is going to be brought in. So we'll have Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi playing for the same team. I'm actually going to change my name to that on here just so we can get a conversation going here. There we go. Yeah, Man City going for Kane. I mean, it's a huge position of need for Man City. Like, we can't, everybody knows that. It does not take a genius to work that out. But the 19 other teams may as well not show up. Like, let's be honest, the 19 other teams may as well not show up if Kane goes for City. I think that City win the league hands down. They may as well not even try, and they win the league. Vera Sly, welcome, mate. Nice to see you back. I'm sorry I didn't watch it yet because I wanted to see after the transfer window went. So here's the thing, mate. What I usually like to do is I like to do one before seeing the teams play to get my kind of initial gut feel out there from the business they've done. But then obviously you watch a couple of weeks, you finish the transfer window, and then you kind of give your final Premier League predictions. And I think James and I will both probably do that then at that point. For me, I think Cavani is going to be, relied upon a lot more, and I expect him to score a lot of goals this year. Jadon Sancho is a huge upgrade at that right wing spot, and Rafael Varane, really, if you're looking at Luke Shaw, Maguire, Varane, and Wan-Bissaka, I mean, that is an incredibly strong back four. You'd argue that's potentially the best in the league. Midfield with Fernandes, Pogba, Van der Beek, McTominay, Fred, that's super strong as well. And then the attacking line as well. Players are coming in, players with points to prove, and I think players who are still kind of reaching their peak. So for me, I don't know. I just have a gut feel about Manchester United this year. But as we've kind of discussed already, I think if Harry Kane joins Man City, then it's game over. It's a bit of a joke, really. It's kind of the B-Tech version of Messi going to PSG. But I feel like that's the kind of Premier League equivalent of Man City getting Harry Kane. So let's look what else we've got here. Manager of the season. Don't know what you guys think. I'm just curious. Who do you think is going to be manager of the season this year? It's definitely an interesting one, isn't it? But anyway, we'll wait for James to load up here in a second. Yeah, manager of the season. And I always find this one kind of difficult because it's kind of like, well, you'd think it would be whoever manages the team that wins it, but that's not always the case, is it? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just not so sure that's always the case. Like, you look at somebody like Graham Potter, if Brighton can kind of score the goals, basically, then you'd say that Brighton have a chance of being like a top 8, top 6 even team, based on the way they played last year with that XG kind of philosophy going. If they can just put the ball in the net, they're going to outscore a lot of teams, and defensively it's pretty solid. Vera Sly saying Nuno. Yeah, look, I'll be honest with you. If you can get Pau Torres, right, and then you've also got Christian Romero in there, say you get a Dusan Vlahovic as well, it's not something that can be ruled out that Nuno can do, a push for the top 4 or a push for top 6 or something like that. But for me, Nuno Espirito Santo, manager of the season, I'm not so sure, mate. I think that's wishful thinking. James, what's up? Oh, we lost James. But yeah, I think Nuno would really have to pull a rabbit out of the hat. I think the beauty with having somebody like Nuno Espirito Santo is purely the idea that I don't think the drop-off's going to be that bad. You know what I mean? He doesn't strike me as a manager who's going to mess things up to a point where you go, you guys are in trouble now. You know what I mean? Like, he strikes me as the type of manager that even a bad year, I think that realistically anything worse than 8th is probably an error, but anything above that is probably more than likely. James, what's up?
I'm struggling today. Just so much going on in my house. It's late and then it's just madness going on here. But
we're just touching on manager of the season because it's kind of a tricky one. Like, we kind of talked a little bit about top goal scorer, and I tried to make the point to people like Kane. Like, there's some reasons why you wouldn't pick Kane. Salah, there's some reasons why you wouldn't pick Salah. Lukaku, even, there's some reasons why you wouldn't pick him. So top goal scorer, I don't think is clear cut as it has been in years past. And then manager of the season too, like, I don't know who you're picking.
But Jack, don't you not feel with like top goal scorer, like it's the same names that come up every single year? Harry Kane has won 3 golden boots. Like he's one more, he's one more off Thierry Henry. Salah, since he's came in, won 2 golden boots in a row, and if it wasn't for Vardy, he probably would have won 3.
But are you super confident with any of those names? That's the reason why it's difficult.
Of course I am. Of course.
Bruno Fernandes could score 30 penalties, you know?
Jack, are you telling me that Mo Salah isn't capable of scoring 25 goals this season?
Right. No, of course not. He could easily.
Salah is a bucket in basketball terms, but he's goals in football terms. He is just an amazing goal scorer. Harry Kane, he's going to get goals regardless. The only thing about Harry Kane that's going to kill him is the fact that he just gets injured. You know, there's going to be a 2-month spell here or there where it goes. Lukaku, to me, is a player that Chelsea needs so badly. I can understand the price tag from the point of view of how badly you need him. The minimum Lukaku is going to get to Chelsea team in the Premier League, in my opinion, is 15 goals. That's a minimum.
I'd say maybe in 20, mate. Seriously.
20. Yeah. I'm just trying to be a bit conservative for Chelsea fans, you know.
Because he doesn't really get hurt.
He doesn't get hurt. And the thing about him, the amount of chances this Chelsea team create, they're screaming for a goal score. The game against Villarreal, to me, to be fair, I'm being truthful honest, Villarreal probably should have won the game. They had enough chances. I thought Mendy had a brilliant game, but Chelsea needed a killer in there. Chelsea needed a serious killer in there. Let's just answer a quick question.
Yeah, just quickly to Veroslai's comment, just in terms of manager of the season. I've got to be honest with you. I think if United do win the Premier League this year, it probably does have to be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I mean, realistically, we can look at, signing Varane and Sancho, and we can probably point to that and go, like, that's pretty good business. I don't know if that's all Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, if we're being honest right now, but like, I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is silencing the haters somewhat. If United win the league this year, you probably would end up having to give it to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
We have an interesting comment here, Jack.
Soccer and psychology, Dean Smith or Patrick Vieira. You always hope it's the manager who does the most with the least. Look, I agree with that. I agree with that generally. James is sick of hearing me say it, but like for me, I care about environment. If you can make chicken salad out of chicken, then good for you. I give you a lot of credit. If you've got chicken salad and you make chicken salad, then I'm kind of like, okay, dude, like, well done. You've done what was already there. So I still think Patrick Vieira. Like for me personally, if you guys just take a quick look at the players that Crystal Palace have lost this year, either on the contract expiring or players they've sold, they've lost basically their starting 11. It's a total rebuild. Any success, and when I say any success, I mean even remaining in the Premier League this year is a good result for Patrick Vieira and Crystal Palace.
But I don't think that'll be good enough for Patrick. I do believe that if Palace get into a relegation battle, that they will call for it. His head. Really? I feel like it's very brutalist in that. We just seen what they did to who's the Netherlands coach that just got sacked? What was his name?
Frank de Boer.
Like Frank de Boer. I understand like it was weird circumstances there, but if it wasn't going well, you know what they're capable of doing. And I don't think Patrick is one of their own. He's an unknown guy, and as soon as things go wrong, I can see fingers just being pointed. Oh, he's not experienced. He's not this. He's not that. Which is utter bull, but that's what's going to happen,
And Dean Smith too. Like if we're kind of flipping the coin here a little bit, like Dean Smith has a great squad. Like I fully expect anything outside of, I would say, probably a top 8 finish for Villa is probably a failure when it comes to him. And realistically, it's oranges and apples here. I think Patrick Vieira and what he's aspiring towards this season compared to Dean Smith will be totally different. It's chalk and cheese. So,
Sammy's an interesting take right here. Go on, Jack.
Sammy, what's up, Sammy? Happy birthday as well. Anybody in chat? Sammy had his birthday. I believe it was yesterday. So Pep is the greatest league manager of all time. I think he's a decent shout. Look, like I don't think you can ever rule out. Pep Guardiola. If we're being honest, in terms of best manager. But again, Sammy, I think the main thing is it's like if you have a squad of that caliber, if you sign a Jack Grealish and a Harry Kane and you do well, like is that due to how great of a manager you are, or is that the quality of the squad you've got? And that's always kind of, there's a sliding scale which you have to figure out.
in a league scenario, would you take Pep Guardiola over Sir Alex Ferguson? Because Ferguson, like, that's 13 league titles in what, 20
In
seasons?
in like one season.
Yeah, you have to go one
In
season.
one season, Pep. Yeah, in one season, Pep. 100. Yeah, I think James, like what Pep can do in 1 year is unbelievable. I think the thing with Fergie, what's up, Silver Surfer? With somebody like Fergie, obviously, if you want a guy who's going to be there for like 25 years, who's going to win you multiple things and have you win again and again, then Fergie's probably your guy. But I think Pep is probably at his top level. Pep is probably a better manager than Fergie.
Okay, guys, let's answer a few questions. Right now, no, let me ask you guys the questions and and just filter in the comments. Can you tell me who you guys believe is going to? Should we do top 4 first, or who's going to win the title?
Let's do top 4 first.
Okay, let's do top 4. Who do you guys think is going to get in the top 4? Now, I want it doesn't have to be in order, but just tell me the 4 who you believe will be in the top 4 this year. Because Jack's, if you haven't seen already, Jack doing his predictions for the Premier League, and he didn't just predict, this this team's gonna win. He done all 20 teams and he ranked them in like where they're gonna finish from 1 to 20. And interesting enough, the one I got from it the most was the fact that Jack had Leicester City in the top 4, and I find that very interesting from a team who, to me, has flamed out big time in the past few seasons. Let's just answer a few comments here first, Jack.
Soccer and psychology. It's hard to get a sense of where Chelsea will fit in on the table at the end of the year, depending on how they finish. I'll imagine Tuchel will be in the mix. I think that's probably in relation to manager of the season. But James, realistically, in terms of that comment, like I agree. Like this Chelsea team with Lukaku coming in are going to have to play a totally different style of football. Obviously, you've got the hangover from winning the Champions League. Like, where is the squad going to be at? What's the deal going to be, generally speaking, with Chelsea? And for me, I have Chelsea finishing third, mainly because I think that, Chelsea are going to be a great team. And I expect the whole top 4, maybe just the top 3, but the top 4 to be very close. But Chelsea, I just think there's going to be a lot of changes, and I just don't know if that, lends itself to winning the league. I know a lot of people have picked Chelsea to win the league this year. I just think that's crazy. I think they can win the league, but it's not who I would pick.
I'll get into the Chelsea stuff right now. First of all, guys, if you haven't already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Also hit that like button to get this video going. Jack, before we even talk about the Chelsea stuff, let's get into everyone's comments.
Yeah, so Stu, Stu, you're going to need to explain this, my friend. Stu's got Liverpool winning the league this year. Now, listen,
I'm pretty sure this is just not in order. This is just who.
Oh, not in order. Okay. Well, I'm not overly against that. I mean, my main thing would be, Manchester United outside the top 4. That is a bold prediction if I've ever seen one.
What is this Leicester thing? Did you guys not see this team, Leicester, on 2 back-to-back years? Not just miss out, but flame out big time with big leads when it mattered the most. They let themselves down, and you guys have them in the top 4. I don't get that.
Virasly, at this point in no order, Chelsea, United, City, and Liverpool. Look, with all due respect to Virasly there, that is going to be the one that everybody picks. Those are the quote-unquote best 4 teams. But what I would say to you is that a league season is long, and realistically, it doesn't always go the way that the bookies always put it to go.
Sam, are you catering towards the Tottenham fans, or are you actually being serious now?
City, United, Liverpool, Spurs if they keep Kane, Chelsea if Spurs don't keep Kane. Yeah, like, come on. I think we're asking a lot of a new manager and a lot of new signings. Toby Alderweireld leaving too is a big deal. I don't know about Spurs making top 4. Silver Surfer, Chelsea, United, City, and Liverpool. Yeah, again, like to me, those 4 is a safe pick. I just kind of like trying to connect the dots. I just don't see Liverpool making top 4. That's all. Stu, Leicester keep evolving. They sell native overhyped and buy foreign stars. Look, Stu, I agree with you, mate. I honestly think, and I think this Leicester team will start to turn the corner. I think that that Leicester will start to do well in big games and also beat the teams they should beat. And, I'm not saying they're going to win a league, but I do think they're capable of it. It's good business year after year. And the team just gets better and better. Stu, still have Shaw, Maguire plus McTominay. The Bermuda Triangle of drop points when they don't park the bus. Styles change systems. Look, Stu, with all due respect to you, mate, obviously all the rumors that we've heard are that Manchester United are going to change their system, and it's going to be, instead of a double pivot, it's going to be a single number 6, and they're going to have 2 number 8s, probably at this point in the form of Pogba and Fernandes, with Jadon Sancho, Edinson Cavani, Rashford on the left, Shaw, Maguire, Varane, Wan-Bissaka. Like, I'm just saying, you doubt this team probably at your own peril, my friend. Soccer and psychology. If Tottenham can sell Kane for 150 by Lautaro Martinez and another solid centre-back or midfielder, I would say they're underdogs for top 4, probably more if we kept Kane. Look, I don't think Lautaro Martinez is going to go at this point. I really don't. I think you're more likely to sign Vlahovic or...
Do you not feel like with Inter Milan teams that after making the promise with Lukaku, anything's possible? I will not be surprised if a team puts in a good bid of 60 to 70 million, I think he goes, because I don't think you can trust this Inter Milan team. As you said, they would rather make a profit in bringing a player who's not as good, but at least decent, to just keep him afloat at this moment.
But what I'd say to you, mate, is we've already seen Dzeko has come in to replace Lukaku. We all know that's a downgrade, whether it's age, ability, you name it. Hakimi has left. Supposedly Denzel Dumfries will be going to Inter over the next couple of days.
I do not know why Arsenal haven't gone for this guy. Like, it makes no sense.
But again, it's a downgrade, but it's kind of an understandable one. That's probably a smart one, actually, if we really, really think about it. I just feel like they're not going to do anything too crazy. They may accept a centre-back. They may accept a central midfield bid, maybe a goalkeeper. But I do not think that Lukaku and Martinez will go in the same window. I just don't think about it.
I love this comment from Silver Surfer. Why aren't Liverpool doing any business in the transfer market now? This is one I want to talk about the most, because if you take us back to last season, at the start of last season, the team everyone feared the most was Liverpool. And for some reason right now, the fear factor is completely gone. I haven't heard one team, I've had one pundit or anyone like us guys mention Liverpool to win the league. And it makes no sense, because 12 months ago, Liverpool, where people were talking about Liverpool going unbeaten again, are they going to get 105 points or something like that? This was where we're talking about right now. And I used to listen to Liverpool fans, and they used to talk about their owners, hey, the fact that they don't spend, they don't spend. They talked about the Coutinho money, and I find it hard to believe them. But now I truly understand it. Yeah, you've just been through a tough season. Yeah, we do understand injuries played a big factor in that. But you see your competitors like Chelsea, you see your competitor like Man City, who you've been battling out with, like Man United, strengthened the way they have. Have you really done much to really make yourself better?
But
we spoke about it.
But what I would say to you, mate, is if you consider the American ownership and the position they're in, the money they invested over the past couple of years, they won a league in COVID times. They won a Champions League in COVID times.
I do understand they invested a bit, but just remember, there's a vast chunk of that money was Coutinho.
But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. But what I would say to you is, and I think Klopp mentioned this in his comments, and I'm not going to totally believe Jurgen Klopp in his comments here, but it's like players have to leave to then bring players in. Now, Jorginho Wijnaldum has left, and I think them not signing a central midfielder is a huge failure. They signed Ibrahima Konate, right, which I think was an important purchase for this team. But apart from that, realistically, if you're going to try and improve the team, you need to sell a Salah, a Mane, a Firmino, somebody of that nature. The fact none of those players have gone, you can't really upgrade. James, we've talked about it all the time. You're going to change an A-grade position to an A+ for £80 million. It's probably not worth it at this point.
Jack, if you have to bring in one player in one position for Liverpool this season right now with let's say 18 days left to the transfer window, what position would you be looking to bring in?
Saul Niguez. I would spend all the money required to sign Saul Niguez. Supposedly, we've heard it's £34 million. To me, Saul Niguez is a better midfielder than Wijnaldum and fits straight into that Liverpool setup with ease. And he can just totally change that Liverpool midfield. And if Jota starts over Salah, Firmino, whoever, then I think you can maybe see something a little different. Maybe we'll see like a sophomore like push up from Thiago Alcantara as well. But for me, I would just go all out for Saul Niguez. That would be my pick.
I do understand it's Jurgen Klopp, but one position I haven't heard of as much is the striker position. Why haven't Liverpool looked to bring in a goal scoring striker, which for some reason,
Because Salah is their striker.
but Salah's a wide man. The fact of the matter is that like how it looked like with Liverpool, during that 6-game spells when they done like 6 home games, which is unheard of for a Liverpool team. You knew what it was like then. They were putting balls into the box, ball after ball after ball, with no one getting on the end of it. Why not bring in a goal scorer like scoring striker in this situation?
I think that as much as you can call Salah a winger, he is the most central and the furthest forward in any Liverpool game that he plays. You look at the heat map, he's way more central and way more further forward than Bobby Firmino. So as much as people want to talk about Salah's goal return, quote unquote, as a winger, like, guys, no, he is a central striker. We know that Firmino plays more realistically as a 10 or a false 9 for that team. Alexander-Arnold bombs on, and then Salah is allowed to play that kind of central number 9 position in attack.
Shirt is going in with these comments right now, Jack. Let's just answer.
Yeah. Van Dijk and Konate and Fabinho back in midfield. How can you not see change in dynamics if you throw Saul in there to lead? Well, this is what I'm saying. I think that if you make the change in midfield, I think it's totally different. I think realistically, and to be honest with you, Stu, this is something where James and I totally agree. You have to change the attacking cohesion in some way, shape, or form. You can't go back to the well every single time with the same 3 players, 4 seasons, 5 seasons. It doesn't work. Eventually it becomes stale, you become figured out. So hopefully Diogo Jota will come in. We'll see something different from him. But realistically, I think people have Liverpool figured out going forward.
Yeah, Jamie Carragher doing some amazing analysis on it and looking at how long front threes last, and you don't see them last for more than 4 seasons max. And Liverpool is going on to like their 5th season or like 6th season or like something like that. Even the greatest ones, you think of MSN and Barcelona, Messi was always the stable of that, but you had different players come in before them. You had Ronaldinho, Eto'o, Messi. Then you had Henry, Eto'o, Messi, and then David Villa, Pedro, Messi, and then MSN. Just different. It just evolves all the time. With this Liverpool team, they're going to give us the same front 3 for the last 5 years. And you think after they were literally figured out last season, they're not going to come in with the same team. I don't get it. I really, really don't get it. And like, I look at a player like Bobby Firmino. Is he at the level that he was at 2 seasons ago?
No,
I'm not sure. I'm like generally.
Also, Stu, with all due respect to your thing there about Alisson, Trent, Konate, Virgil van Dijk, Robertson, all these kind of guys, like, guys, Virgil van Dijk is a big man, and he's just come off like one of the worst kind of injuries you can get. I don't know what Virgil van Dijk's going to be like. Is Virgil van Dijk going to come back and be the best centre-back in the world like he was before? I don't know. I still expect him to be good, but is he going to be title-winning centre-back good? I'm not so sure. Robertson is coming into the year injured. Trent is coming off the worst year of his career. We don't know what Konate is going to be. Joe Gomez is coming off injured. Henderson was rumoured to leave. When Wijnaldum has left, it's the same front 3. I personally do not see massive, massive upside apart from the fact that fans are back at Anfield to have Liverpool make top 4. That's why I've got them 5th. I think it will be close. Guys, they could sign Saul Niguez and we could having a different conversation here. But for me, I think Liverpool 5th is totally fair.
But Jack, that fan thing makes such a big difference.
Oh, huge.
So we're going to get to your comment in a minute because I really, really like this one. But let's just go, like one more from Stu here, and then we get into Silver's comment.
That's true enough. Thing people overlook is now Liverpool have 4 footballing defenders who can all pipe 45 passes to launch counters. Like, yeah, again, that's fine. But, is counter-attack football really the Jurgen Klopp style? I think historically the way we think about counter-attack is from defense to attack. I think Jurgen Klopp football is the middle third and the forward third where he likes to do his counter-attacking. And realistically, it's not much of a counter. It's just more of a press. And again, with Wijnaldum going, with Henderson rumoured to potentially have left the club as well, I'm just not so sure. I think the Anfield crowd is going to play a huge part for Liverpool this year, but we'll see. I've been wrong before, my guy.
I feel like the one thing people get perception with counterattack is what is a counterattack? People perceive a counterattack to be you're deep in your own half.
Goalkeeper throws it out.
You spring and then then you score. You get everyone up the field, and then you score. Counterattacks can be looked at from different ways in like different versions. the way Jurgen Klopp does his like his counter attacking is winning the ball high and like scoring in a space of 6 seconds. You know, it's like it's not a sit deep type of counter attack. I've seen Liverpool do that on probably like 1 or 2 occasions against Ajax in the Champions League, but that's not his style. Jurgen Klopp to sit back, no, he's full leather and like he wants to press from the front, and that's where Liverpool get the counter attack.
It's why Firmino's been so successful. You know, let's be honest. It's why Firmino's been so good. He's not been super prolific, but what he's offered in terms of the way Jurgen Klopp wants to play is perfect. Stu, to be honest with you, mate, like I think we're probably on the same side here. Like, you know, Liverpool, I think there are 5 teams who could win the league this year, and they are Man United, Man City, Chelsea, Leicester, and Liverpool. And I still think Liverpool can win the league. But again, there's just a few little signs that make me think that won't be the case.
I think you'd be stupid to rule out this Liverpool team.
Oh, 100%.
You look back at the history of the last 2 seasons. They're still a very, very good side. And if Virgil van Dijk can get to the level that he was at, the whole dynamic changes.
We could be talking about the best centre-back partnership in Europe with Van Dijk and Konate. Like, I'm not going to rule it out. I've got my doubts, but I'm not going to rule it out.
But also, you look at Liverpool, and the fact that they didn't score was the reason of the fact that they didn't trust the centre backs. You know, the 2 centre backs there weren't as good. So, for instance, like when Virgil van Dijk was there, they could step up, and the team could step up like 4 or 5 yards. But with 2 centre backs, like they did have last season, they had to drop back a little bit, and that kind of stops the Jurgen Klopp flow, because the press isn't as aggressive then. Because you know the distance needs to be small, and the fact that the distance is even bigger creates more space for the teams. But let's go into this interesting comment from right now. Banter Club of the Year. Woo! Banter Club of the Year.
I'm not starting on this one.
I mean, I hate to say it. You know, it burns me, but I'm going to be truthfully honest. The Banter Club of the Year is going to be Arsenal. It's going to be more laughter, more laughter, more laughter. We haven't done anything good enough to make me feel any type of way. Think about it. We are a few hours off our first game in the Premier League.
First draw to Brentford.
We have signed Ben White for 50 million. Let's be truthfully honest. If someone told you that Ben White was going to be signed for that money at the start of the season, you were like, who? What? How? And then Sambi Lokonga looks good, you know, good, like is like a good prospect, but it was the exact same thing with Guendouzi, you know. And then we have Tavares, which is all right. He's a good athlete, but technically needs to improve. We are not good. We are not good, and we have not addressed the situations that like we had last season. And I just don't believe that our manager, our players are at that level, and you just know what's going to happen this year. Just the same old problem. So we're going to be the Banter Club, followed by, I have to say, Tottenham. Do you not feel, Jack?
You had to get it in there. No, look, honestly, I agree with you. Like, it could be, right? I don't doubt that. Look, for me, Arsenal are kind of always a banter club, and I feel like the fans kind of ask for that realistically. Like, you know, the way that the fans kind of en masse kind of behave, I feel like generally speaking, they're always going to be due some sort of banter and some sort of, you know, getting trolled or whatnot. I think Vera Sly makes a really good point here. Now, I don't feel super confident on this, but my dark horse banter club could be Chelsea, and I'm just going to put that out there. Purely because, you know, guys, I don't think Chelsea are going to be signing the Inter Milan Lukaku. I do expect a drop-off from him. There is the potential for a hangover from the Champions League victory, right? There is a potential for Thomas Tuchel to be found out a little bit more, maybe. Who knows, right? He was found out at PSG. I'm not sold on Thomas Tuchel as a manager just yet. And I've made this comment already. Before Christmas, if Chelsea are lingering around 6th, I fully expect Thomas Tuchel to be sacked. You know, that's just the way the Chelsea are. I think Chelsea could be the banter club, but I think if we're playing it safe, yeah, chances are it'll be Arsenal. Sorry, James.
We have a few questions here, Jack.
Stu, Granit Xhaka has taken Arsenal from the UCL to Europa League to missing out on the UEFA. I think that's the Conference League. Look, little bit of a troll there. I still maintain I would love to see Granit Xhaka in a Roma shirt, but I only want him there if he wants to be there. But anyway, James, I'll let you get on to this next one.
James, do you like Arteta or no? What's your opinion on him? Do you know what it is? I don't dislike Mikel Arteta. I think he's a good coach. I felt like when he came in, he was nowhere near my first choice. He wasn't even in the list, in my opinion. But we signed him, and yeah, you had to back him. You had to back him in. You listened to his interviews. You felt like, there might be something there. But as time went on, you realize that he's just not cut out for this job. Let's be truthfully honest. He's a cool manager, and I hope he goes on to do amazing things in his career. And I hope he takes Arsenal to the heights that we want to be. But do I believe that he is good enough to be an Arsenal coach right now? No, not even a chance. You know, I look at what goes on with this team and the fact that I don't even feel. Forget about what goes on the pitch, because what Arteta says and what I see on the pitch contradicts itself. Meant to be this free flowing side, and I see us sit back and we lack creativity, and like I miss the Wenger days. I miss the Wenger days, seriously, and the football we used to play, because we don't play nowhere near to the level that that we used to play. But just with him, it's like the fact of, I don't feel that he gives the board enough pressure. Why are we going into a football season and our squad isn't fully ready yet? If Bern Leno gets injured today, who are we going to have in goal? Are we going to have our academy graduate in goal? How does that make sense? Yeah, we need a center midfielder. I'm not going another season with Granit Xhaka in the middle. We need an attacking midfielder who can get us goals. Yeah, we need a striker who can score goals, because the Aubameyang doesn't seem to be at that level anymore. Like, there's a lot going on, and I don't feel like he applies the pressure. And that's the difference between someone like a Conte, who would live and die by his own principles. And if that means falling out with the board or even leaving, so be it. And I don't feel like Arteta does that.
Yeah, Arteta's a tricky one. Like, I really want to like him, and initially I really did, because I saw some positive changes, even small changes.
That was
Yeah, no, seriously, because I saw the positives and I thought to myself, this is going to be it. This is going to be it. It's going to be slow but steady. We're going to see it. And, you know, all those bright sparks, all that optimism has just slowly gone away. And now when I watch an Arsenal game, even in preseason this year, I'm not seeing what I saw from, you know, a year or so ago, where I was kind of optimistic and hopeful. And I think James makes the main point. Like, unfortunately, to be a manager, you got to be a little bit of a dick. You know, you got to kind of make your way. You know, winners don't appreciate and say thank you to the people they beat. They win. And Conte is a great example from James. You know, Antonio Conte would not accept what is going on at Arsenal right now, but Mikel Arteta is more than happy to. And, you know, you can say that maybe he's being respectful, or maybe he's just trying to, you know, wait his time, you know, earn his stripes and then go from there. But for me, it's not the right attitude. That's the issue.
People like, okay, for instance, Jose Mourinho, and like, regardless of what you say about him, when he doesn't get what he wants, he's gonna pout, because he knows what he wants. And I just feel like that it's too conservative. So Alex Ferguson wouldn't let that happen. If he wants something, I get it coming to the end, it wasn't great. But if he wants something, he will do his best to get it. I don't feel like it's the same with Mikel Arteta, you know. So we have a few ones right there. The Ramsdale thing, for first of all, I just think it's just like, what are we doing? It makes the Martinez deal look even worse on Arsenal's part.
I agree. Stu, I'm a Sevilla fan, guys. Montiel for 10 million euros. Big teams asleep at the wheel. Monchi is God. Look, I like Monchi as much as the next guy, but he came to Roma, he messed stuff up, and then he left. So I'm not Monchi's biggest fan right now. Vera Sly, you can see head coach and assistant coach is really different in Arteta's case. You got a comment on that, James?
What being a head coach?
Vera Sly, you can see being a head coach and an assistant coach is very different in Arteta's case. Do you agree with that? Do you think that the head coach things maybe kind of overcome him a bit?
Oh, Jack, of course, it's different.
Yeah.
You know, and like, let's not compare Man City to Arsenal. Man City, you have, first of all, arguably the greatest coach of all time, right? Heading the team, and then you have just an abundance of talent there. While you come to Arsenal with a team not as talented as Man City, with a team with a lot of rotten eggs in just a bad atmosphere overall. And that's not just from the players, that's from the club and that's from the fans. So he's come into this whole different ball game where, as a coach, I don't think you should jump into that straight away, because that can literally make and break you. Because now, let's say if Arteta fails, yeah, I understand that he probably will get job, but he's always going to be crucified for this.
Right.
Oh, here the Arsenal guy early on in his career. Oh, look what he did in Arsenal. Look at someone like Unai Emery. He's doing great in Spain. But how many people are going to consider him when he comes to England?
But I think it's the style thing, isn't it? Like, do we think that Unai Emery can play league-winning football, be it in Spain or anywhere? I'm not so sure. I'm really not. I just don't think he's that guy. Whereas I think Arteta does have it in him to play, league-winning football. I don't know whether that's going to be at Arsenal, but I do think at some club Arteta can play league-winning football.
Again, I hope Arteta has an amazing career, and I hope he does it for Arsenal. I want Arsenal to succeed. I want us to be winning Super Cups like the way Chelsea is. It burns me when I see these guys do it. But I just look at some of the decisions that are being made at this football club. The Willian one was baffling.
Yeah,
I'm
it was
seeing
poor.
Ramsdale. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Even like the Martin Odegaard deal. Martin Odegaard came in last season and was all right. Did he set the world on fire?
Is he worth 60 million euros? No.
No, I don't understand why we're cutting to get this guy like he is the be all end all. No, him and Smith Rowe to me are 50-50. We need to bring someone who is at that level, who can help Smith Rowe and challenge Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe knows that. So that's the level I need to get through. That's the difference at this moment in time. We're going after players who are half decent when we should be striving.
Soccer and psychology. I can't tell the cultural differences that Arteta brought to the club. First, I thought he was bringing in a new subtle yet intense attitude, but I don't know. It's hard to see now. Yeah, I think I personally just looked at the way they played against some of the bigger teams. I looked at the way that Arsenal didn't kind of strictly embarrass themselves like they maybe have done previously and became that banter club, which James and I were kind of joking about just then. But yeah, a lot of those positives have kind of gone. And the thing is, you can look at a silver lining as much as you want, but if that silver lining doesn't turn into sun, then it's kind of a bit of a waste, unfortunately. And I think a great comparison is going to be somebody like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, again, the footballing aspect is not that impressive, but what he's been able to do in terms of the mental side of the game has been more impressive. He has changed the culture of the club a little bit more, and that seems to be what is lacking a little bit with Arteta.
Let's move away from Arsenal right now because I can talk about them. But I have an interesting question for you guys. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, where do you stand on him as a coach? And what must he do for Manchester United this season? Is it win the title or leave, or is it another one of these get second and we're cool, we're still building,
get second again?
To me, it's a thing with Manchester United now. It's been we're getting there. Listen, now you guys actually have to get there now and take that next step. Because I just look at this team right now, the abundance of money that's been spent on this team. There's no excuse. Challenge now.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to agree with you. I think that, as we've talked about before, James, how many teams would I put to you and you would say, oh, they should be challenging for the league? Only one team can win the league. Like, let's be clear. If I throw the name Man City at you, you should probably say, oh, they should be winning the league. If I say Chelsea, you should say they should probably be winning the league. Liverpool, Man United, only one team can win the league. So I think realistically, Man United should be winning the league or at least challenging for the league. But generally speaking, we know what they're up against here, and it's not going to be, a cakewalk, right? So I think that they should win the league. As I've said, prior to somebody like Harry Kane joining Man City, I do actually expect Man United to win the league. I think it will be close, but I do think that that they should be winning the league. I think the risk, James, that Man United face is that the moment you bring in a non-Solskjaer type character, does that cultural aspect of the football club start to go down again and they go back to where they were? Because the one thing I think you'd give credit to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for is they have changed the feeling around the club. The fear factor somewhat is back at Manchester United. I think you look at that team and you go, oof, no thanks. Whereas when it was Mourinho, when it was Van Gaal, when it was Moyes, I think there was a certain level of, They're not what they used to be. This isn't Fergie, you know?
I do understand the point of view. I feel like when you listen to the players, they love the environment. They love what culture has brought. I don't feel like I get the same feeling going to Old Trafford. I don't think a lot of teams really have the same fear factor in Old Trafford. You know, we knew what it was like going to Old Trafford before. You would be lucky to get a point there.
Right.
Teams go there and still believe that they can not only get a point, but get all 3 points there. And I'm not talking about the top teams. I'm talking about Burnley may go there and I believe that they can win. Or Brighton may go there. I believe that they can win. And that's the difference. I don't think Man United they've gotten better, but they haven't taken that. They haven't given me that stride to be like they're going to be the team now to challenge in like really make a statement.
The only other thing I think I'd say with Man United as well is it's like, look, Man United fans out there, you can do the Ollie out thing all you want. Who's coming in? Because look, I hear the Antonio Conte. You're going to go to a 3-5-2 team. Like, what? Do you know what I mean? You're going to just totally abandon what you've built over the last few years. We get caught in this all the time. Fans want managers out all the time. Just get him out, get him out. Who's coming in? Because I'll be honest, you know, you do the dance with the devil you know, ladies and gentlemen, because the devil you don't know may be even worse, and you could fall off even more than you did before. You know, it doesn't necessarily happen all the time, but I think that a team finishing second consistently and maybe pushing for a title every other year or something around those lines, if you get rid of that guy and you bring somebody else in, you could potentially be screwing yourself over. Very sly. I think United build something with Ollie. If maybe United sacked Ollie with Conte, they should wait and spend more. Look, I think my main frustration is Man United fans complain all the time, right? Give the managers time. We never give our managers time. They're finally giving a guy time, and it's like, we want him gone. We want success immediately. It's like, well, you got to pick one. Guys, you got to pick one. Ollie, Spencer, Jack, being a bit of a Serie A expert, Vlahovic or Lautaro Martinez for Spurs, same price. First of all, Martinez should be valued more than Martinez, but Vlahovic is the better player. Dusan Vlahovic is a better footballer, 100%. Physical threat, goal threat. Like, for me, apart from Erling Braut Haaland, Dusan Vlahovic is the kind of, and if you call Mbappe a striker, okay. So Mbappe, Haaland, number 3 on that list for me in terms of bright prospects in attacking positions through the middle. Dusan Vlahovic is number 3 after Mbappe and Haaland. He's really that good. There's a reason I want him that badly for Roma, and there's a reason why Roma can't afford him. So if you sell Harry Kane, I think Vlahovic is a great pickup. I like Martinez, but Martinez kind of, in my opinion, needs players around him to succeed. Vlahovic can do it all by himself. I have a huge man crush on that guy. So look, if Spurs get him, I mean, it's a downgrade on Kane. Let's not kid ourselves, but it's not as big of a downgrade as Martinez might have been. Let's put it that way.
Vlahovic, 40 games, 21 goals last season. He's 21 years of age. I mean, that's a great age.
James,
for
read his height and weight there.
What, he is 6'3", Jack,
and quick as hell. He does not mess around. He's a good dude. Seriously, like I don't really put my neck out there that much, or at least I try and not put my neck out there that much in terms of getting stuff wrong. But you got Mbappe, you got Haaland. You know, you can call him 1 or 2 in whichever way you want. But number 3 for me, Dusan Vlahovic, easy. Silver Surfer, United without Pogba can miss out on top 4. I'm not so sure. I'm really not. I do honestly believe that the midfield is there to be able to do it. I think that Sancho's the big upgrade. Varane is the big upgrade. And whether it's Van de Beek coming in or whether it's the same double pivot with Fred, McTominay and Fernandes, I still expect them to be very, very dangerous. You know, I think that Man United are even more assured of having a title challenge if Pogba leaves and Goretzka or, you know, Saul Niguez or somebody like this, Camavinga comes in. But to me, I think that if Pogba stays and you have somebody like McTominay at 6, and then you play Fernandes and Pogba super aggressive in those games where you should beat the opposition, you know, it's going to be hard to beat this United side, especially with that strong back 4 and that very strong attacking line. Stu, yeah, I agree. Martinez blows hot and cold. Yeah, look, Stu, I like Martinez. I'm a big fan. But realistically, we've never seen him do it as the number one, number nine at any team. Soccer and psychology. Poch was so impressive at Spurs because they overachieved. Superb player development, which is why PSG will be tough for him. Yeah, no, I agree with you. Spurs have been the biggest overachievers for a long time. I don't know, James, if you feel the same or not, but whenever Spurs fans kind of complain, I think to myself, like, guys, you need to know where you're at as a club. Like, you've overachieved. Like, let's be honest.
Pochettino's. This is just my opinion. I feel Pochettino as a coach, his managerial career, to the point of view of the way he's looked at in my eyes, is on the line. If he cannot be successful with this PSG team, because there is everything you want. You want the world's best players, you got that. You want a strong defense, you got that. You want a good midfield, you got that. You know, we heard the excuses at Tottenham. Yeah, we didn't get the players. We came close every single time. This is now his chance to say, I am a top coach, because he cannot fail right now.
Just quickly on this comment from Soccer and Psychology, with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I'm not sure he can overachieve, achieve, develop players, or completely utter in a new culture. He's already uttered in a new culture, and he's already developed players. He's not necessarily achieved yet, but he has already developed players and brought in a new culture. So I don't know what you're watching there,
what players do you feel like he has developed? What players do you feel like he has developed, Ollie?
I think Luke Shaw's developed a great deal. I think Wan-Bissaka has developed a great deal. I think Mason Greenwood, Scott McTominay, Marcus Rashford.
No, but I feel like Scott McTominay, to be fair, was always on that rise. You know, he was always on, even at Jose, he was preferred ahead of Paul Pogba.
But I would say to you that generally speaking, that's like half the first team. You know, I'm not gonna just dismiss anything that he's done there. I think we've seen a lot of young players come in and do very, very well as part of the team. So you know, and we'll see what happens with Jadon Sancho. But I think to say that he can't develop players or usher in a new culture, the culture is already there. And developing players, I think we already see great examples of that already. So more time is just there to be seen. Ollie Spencer, Fiorentina are my second team. Okay. After Spurs, I love Vlahovic. Would be insane. Sounds like Vlahovic might be off to Atletico. Look, great pickup for Atletico Madrid. He'll kill it there. It will just be another striker for Atletico Madrid that just pops off and then leaves for a huge amount of money. So fair play. James, you want to take the next one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Stumac, Jadon thrives off a decoy runner. He had half a season with Meunier last year, but was only truly world class with Hakimi. I mean, okay. So I guess you're talking Dortmund, like.
Yeah. I feel like with Jadon Sancho, especially like the footage like you see of him, I don't really think that he needs a fullback, because one thing people must understand for wingers, especially, this might be mad, but I feel like, especially with me too, wingers hate when fullbacks get down and kind of kill their space. You know,
right.
The fact of the matter is, like, when you want to ISO someone, when you want to take someone on 1v1, you want as much space to maneuver as possible, and especially with a fullback running down, like running down the wing and even cutting off that space. I feel like the fact that Aaron Wan-Bissaka isn't there now, and he's gonna have a whole fullback to go to, he can go down the line and or inside. I feel like it's gonna make him an even better player. And like the fact with Jadon Sancho that he can play on both flanks very comfortably and go both ways very, very comfortably, makes him an even dangerous factor in his Man United team.
If Cavani can play 25 games this year, if he can start 25 games this year, I fully expect 20 goals. I'm not kidding. Seriously, you've got the delivery of somebody like a Luke Shaw, Rashford, and then throw in somebody like Jadon Sancho, who's one of the most selfless players I've ever seen. Great delivery. Edinson Cavani's going to pop off as long as he stays fit. That's my only worry.
I believe one of the most important players for Man United this season that he can have a serious coming out party in my eyes is Mason Greenwood.
Right.
I want to see Mason Greenwood this year take this number 9 shirt and be like, we talk about Harry Kane. Mason Greenwood has the ability to score 25 goals plus this season.
Yeah,
he is
best finisher at the club.
Yeah, again, him and Cavani are probably battling
Oh, good point. But still, like Mason Greenwood, I've had the opinion for a long time here. I do expect that at the peak of each of their careers, Mason Greenwood is the better player out of Greenwood and Rashford, and that's high praise. But seriously, I believe it. I believe it. I see it.
I thought you were going to say Cavani. I was like, I'm not sure about Cavani, but Rashford, that's a serious shout. Do you know what? I'm going to say this right now. Mason Greenwood has the potential to already be better than Rashford and Anthony Martial.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like Martial's got to a point right now where I love Anthony Martial. I don't know what he is at this moment in time.
No.
Where is he going? This is a Ballon d'Or nominee that's just playing well below his ability. You know, how many has he for a player of his standard? I'm talking, you know, when you see a player who plays on the left, who's quick in his French, the first thing you get is Thierry Henry. Has he hit that 30-goal mark yet? That's the biggest problem, you know.
And I think the problem, James, is over at least the past couple of years has been like, you know, are you a 9 or are you an 11? And it's kind of like, well, it doesn't really matter. Just play football. Just play it to the best of your ability and figure it out from then. I feel like there's been too much of an onus on, oh, Martial's playing 9 this week. He better score. He better score a brace. And it's like, well, no, just play football. That's my only worry for Jayden, but great prospect, humble and respectful guy. This is coming from a Scotsman, so you can tell the admiration. Appreciate that, Stu. Soccer and psychology. New culture, question mark. Smoothing the feathers that Jose ruffled isn't ushering in a new culture. I disagree. I think that if somebody comes in and messes things up, I think the reparation process of trying to put things back in place after somebody's come in and mess things up, that is putting a new culture in. You're trying to remove the toxicity from the situation and trying to bring back
big word, toxicity.
Yeah, like, there you go, toxicity. And then you bring in, and you bringing in a different culture to the team. You know, I think I've said this from day one. I think the Harry Maguire signing, I'd say 30 mil of that 80 mil budget is to buy that leader, to buy that captain, and to buy that example for the club. And I think that, to his credit, you know, Harry Maguire's never been, I'd say, the best defender in the world. You know, he's probably lingering in and around the top 20. But I'd say the leadership characteristics and what he does for a dressing room is massive. So to bring him in has been really good. And in terms of developing players, yeah, I kind of said my bit on that. I do think he has brought along players. I'm not going to say it would be any better than Brendan Rodgers or Pochettino or one of these coaches who's known for that. But realistically, there have been improvements under Solskjaer, and he does deserve credit, like it or not. Stu Mack, England will actually have a decent front line if they persist with Saka, Greenwood, and Sancho. James, thoughts?
Yeah, I feel like England's overall front line is just, you look at the players you have, it's nice. It really, really is nice. I just ask myself, you know, you look at the rest of the world, let's see, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a difficult one. I'm struggling with.
Is for you right now.
But I'm struggling with Saka. Like, what do we think he's going to like nail down left wing or nail down right wing, or do you just not think that's going to be his career? Do you think he's just going to play where he needs to play?
I feel with Saka is that people are saying this guy is young. He has a lot of development to do. He has a lot of learning to do, and I feel like we put so much pressure on him that what is he this, what is he that? Let him learn. He has so much to improve at, and he has so much to get better at. I do believe that this guy can be. He is an out-and-out winger. He's a winger to me that should be getting around 10 goals a season with 20 plus assists with his ability to get down the line and put crosses into the box. But also, he has this knack of being a number 10 too. He's a creative spark that a lot of people don't seem to understand with him. When he picks up the ball and like he drives the players, he has that little cute passage that like a lot of people don't seem to see. So that's something that Saka will develop like at a time. For me, you're looking at a wide man who can also drift in and play as a 10. That will be, in my opinion, Saka's career. But Jack, this is common.
Yeah. He just worries me. I just think that if you don't end up specializing in a position, sometimes you get left behind. And I just hope for his sake that he's not seen as the sub who can play anywhere. Like he needs to. For me, it would be a case of like, dude, pick your best position, go for it, because you do have that ability. Silver Surfer, who's going to win Serie A and top 4? So for me, the winner is really, really easy because Inter Milan have just given up. So the team that wins is Juventus, shocker. And we're going to all talk about how great of a manager Max Allegri is when he's not really. Conte leaves, Lukaku leaves, Hakimi leaves, and shock horror, you win the league again, unsurprisingly. I do think Atalanta will make top four. I don't know whether that's going to be second or third, but I do expect Atalanta to be up there again. My kind of rogue shout is going to be Lazio, because I think that you still have good squad quality there. And if it clicks with Maurizio Sarri, then, I mean, look out. This Lazio team could explode. And honestly, it pains me to say that. And then the only other team is Milan. Like, I just think there's enough talent. They've retained enough players. And yeah, I know it sounds crazy, but Roma, Inter, and Napoli, I just don't see finishing top four personally.
Is it mad? I'm gonna give a shout because you might as well just be a little bit controversial and stick your neck out. My dark horse to win it, obviously Juventus are ahead, but my dark horse to win it is Atlanta.
Yeah, James, you're not crazy. You are not crazy.
Last season, back-to-back top four finishes, and you look at consistency level. Who is the most consistent team out there over Inter, AC, and obviously if Juventus are on it, we know what they're on. But Atlanta, when they
just got Demiral. They lost Romero, but they just got Demiral. Demiral, who has been linked with every top Premier League team. So seriously, no disrespect to any Spurs fans in the chat right now, but like, listen, Demiral could be worth more than Christian Romero after this season. I'm just putting that out there. Like, seriously. So that's a huge upgrade. We know the attacking options, and we know that if they lose a Zapata or somebody like that, they're going to sign a top player and still compete in a big way. So, James, I don't think you're crazy. Seriously, I'd love it if that happened. I would love it.
A little comment here, Joe.
Stu, Jose will win Serie A. Okay, let's all just calm down. I'm grinding out the twos. The others mess around with that aging Juve squad, dude. I don't think you've seen the Juve squad recently. Yeah, Chiellini's like 84, but he can still defend like nothing else. Ronaldo's about 40, but he'll still be top goal scorer. You got Chiesa, Kulusevski, Bernardeschi. You got all those midfielders. If I start listing them, I'll be here all day. Yeah, guys, that Juve team's going to win. Trust me. Gasperini's a wonderful manager, just keeps ripping up rebuilds. Look, you've got to. It's part of the job. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it goes. If you're a manager of a team that has to sell your best two players every single season, you've got to learn how to deal with those consequences. And Atalanta have been very, very good at it. Castagna's left, they did just fine. Romero's now left, they'll be doing just fine. It happens all the time. Mancini left, they'll be fine. It's seriously.
Jack, with the way Serie A is going this year, and especially with the fact that the money isn't there as it used to be, and how poor, I want to look at the Champions League. And the fact of the matter is that Serie A clubs have struggled in the last 2-3 seasons in getting even past the last 16 stage. Could we see another season where Inter are going to struggle to even get out of their group more than likely?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, including the manager.
Are you sure? Are they going to? Do they have enough to get out of their group? Juve, they probably will, but it's going to be a tough one. Probably Atlanta will probably the best hope in a way of doing well.
Yeah, Juve, it won't ever be convincing. But again, it's just, look, we've got a bunch of great players. Let's throw them out on the field and make it work. I think that's always been the problem. Juve, in my opinion, have not had a great manager since they let go of Conte. And to me, Max Allegri was just kind of like just pushing things along as usual. Max Allegri didn't do anything groundbreaking with this Juve squad, which made them so brilliant. And again, he's going to come back and win the league, but that's because Inter let everybody...
Final.
Sorry?
He got to a Champions League final.
Yeah, but I mean, did he win that final with the players he had? I'm just throwing that out.
I think he got the 2 Champions League finals. Yeah, he got 2 Champions League finals,
but still, like, it wasn't from doing anything groundbreaking. It was from arguably the best squad in Europe doing what they probably should have done. And that's the thing with Max Allegri. I think that people can talk about how great he is all they want, but I've never seen him go in and do something where I've gone, wow, good job, that kind of thing. Like we've seen from, all jokes aside, Gasperini, Graham Potter, these kinds of people. Gasperini's a wonderful manager. Yeah, it was a compliment. Atletico Madrid. Yeah, no, I agree with you, Stu. If Juve don't buy anymore, I don't see them winning the league. At least struggle with consistency. Yeah, I mean, exactly. And like I said, their biggest rivals just lost the three biggest assets to their whole club. So, you know,
How important is Manuel Locatelli to this Juventus team? Let's say if they do get him, does he make Juventus like look at like Champions League favorites?
no. Like, I really like Locatelli, but is Locatelli, you know, is he going to be that much better than a Ramsey or Rabiot? You know, any of these kind of guys, a Weston McKennie? You know, I'm not so sure.
Where
Arthur.
in the hell is Aaron Ramsey? Like, free Aaron Ramsey up. He's been locked up for a minute.
But James, again, like Locatelli is a great player. Don't get it twisted. But my point is, so is Weston McKennie. So is Arthur Melo, right? So is Aaron Ramsey. So is Adrian Rabiot. It's like we've talked about in the past. You'd be upgrading like a B plus position to an A position. Like, do you really want to spend all that money on just upgrading that slight position? Why not make work what you have? Get Paulo Dybala, involved more. Sign him to a new deal. Get him involved. You know, come on.
To me, it's the fact I get it, Cristiano Ronaldo, but he is 30. He is 30. He's turning 37. Let's get that right.
I'm 36.
He's 30. Listen, come on. We shouldn't have asked nothing from a 36, 37-year-old guy.
He'll still manage top goal scorer.
You talk about Lautaro Martinez blowing hot and cold. When Paulo Dybala blows hot, it's fire. But when he blows cold, I'm not sure. And I feel like I feel like Juve haven't done enough for him. They haven't given him enough responsibility, because this should be the guy. We shouldn't be thinking about him and just kind of he's kind of a bit of an afterthought. That's a problem. Even like with the Argentinian team, I know Messi's involved, but he should be right next to Messi. And it's just with him, it's like, what are you? He's going to look back in his career and be like, I should have been better. But
James, I agree with you, mate. I would let Chiesa go crazy. I would let your wings go crazy. I would have Mario Mandzukic or a Giroud or somebody like that there in a heartbeat, and just let Dybala do whatever he wanted.
Last comment of the day, because I have to head off to bed.
Gary Garner's stack of ribs. Nice to see you, mate. I just came to say PSG will win the UCL this season. Okay, James, I have a question for you here.
Go on, last one.
If I gave you any other team in the competition, or PSG, who are you going to pick to win the Champions League?
PSG.
Okay.
I'm picking PSG over the field. Jack,
I'd pick the field.
Jack, if you that picture of Mbappe and just Messi just hugging, I'm like, dude, what are you guys gonna do? What are you guys really gonna do? Messi and Mbappe. Oh, Jack.
It's black magic. Yeah. Honestly, it feels like voodoo. I'm not even kidding.
Like, seriously, in a two-legged affair, what are you like? I'm sorry. Also, these guys are happy that there's no away goal, because it would have been all over. You know.
Also, quickly, did you hear about the rumors, supposedly, that they're going to let Mbappe's contract run out, and then Ronaldo's contract going to run out, and they're going to sign Ronaldo, so we're going to see Messi and Ronaldo play on the same team.
This is like some Vince McMahon shit right now. This is like serious Vince McMahon stuff at this moment of time. This is some WWE type stuff, but this is PSG. Anything is possible. They have Jordan on their logo. They have Messi next to him, the GOAT Messi. They got Neymar, the most expensive player of all time, with the second most expensive player of all time.
And the bench, bro.
They are the Eiffel Tower at the back. It's just an absolute madness.
Di Maria, Icardi on the bench.
You know what? It feels weird having the two greatest rivals in the history of sport. And this is just that's my biased opinion of it. For them to coincide for one season, how weird is it? It's almost gonna have to cut the Ballon d'Or in half and give them one each, and just give them as they stand together. But I mean, why not? Why not, Jack? Why not? Like, oh,
dude, I'm here for it. I'm just
Paredes, Verratti, Gigi, behind them spraying balls to Mbappe. I'm not even gonna say this guy, Neymar and Messi. Lord have mercy on everybody. Seriously, it's over. My days. There are a few more comments right now, so we can just take it in, guys. Take it in, because also, do you not feel like how weird it is to actually see Messi in a different shirt? You know,
Yeah, the one thing I'll say though, James, is if PSG win the league and Messi is an integral part and they win the Champions League, yeah, a bunch of people are going to have comments about, oh, he only did it because of Mbappe, he only did it because of Neymar, Ramos, Donnarumma, blah blah blah. Look, Messi left the comfy space of Barcelona in a year where he has won a Copa America and he's won at a different club. You're staring daggers into the Ronaldo GOAT debate right there.
Jack, are you willing to concede that?
James, I'm telling you, like it's one of my biggest problems with Messi, and he would overcome both of the big problems in 1.5 years. Like it's huge.
Last comment, and then we're gonna call it a day, Jack.
Still think PSG for all their clever ideas. Mr. Trick not giving Messi the Jordan 24. Well, Jordan would be 23. Kobe would be 24. But yeah, Jordan 23. That would be sick. I'm not gonna lie. Karas casually sitting on the GOAT's number. Yeah, look, I get it, but I think you when you're in a conversation with Messi about shirt number, you don't say, "Hey, we'd like you to wear this one." You just let the man decide.
Also, I hate to get a bit political here, but Messi's Nike. Jordan's Nike, Messi's Adidas. So you know, ain't no free promotion for Nike here. Like
no.
Especially for a person like Messi who's so close to Adidas. It's like
also Steph Curry. Steph Curry 30, right? And there's a better similarity between Steph and Messi, I would say. You know.
I mean, seriously, that when I think about it, like LeBron and LeBron and Cristiano are similar to me, and then I think of Steph and Messi, how way they change the game with their size and their skill. But guys, thank you all for watching today. People who have comments, sure, really appreciate your stuff. Gary, every single one who's came out today, appreciate everyone. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, please hit that subscribe button, guys. Let's get us to 500. We're so close to that. We appreciate you. Thanks for watching. This is Box to Box Football. Jack and James. We will be back soon. Depending on how well Arsenal get on tomorrow, we will see you guys. Thanks for watching. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, hit it, guys. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
See you later, guys. Appreciate your comments and chat, you guys. Nice one.
Thank you.